It's all about the conduct of the lawmakers during the presentation of the 2019 appropriation. Yeah, bill of budget, chairs, boards. We got to the extent that a student union leader couldn't bear it. It was like, look, House, you have to tender an unreserved apology to Nigerians for that what he termed as disgrace, so to speak. How do you say it? How do you feel about it? I'm not talking about the budget right now, but the flip side of the budget presentation. What really happened in course of the budget presentation? Help me here in the studio, a chartered arbitrator, a legal practitioner, a human rights activist. Join me, welcome Barrister Patrick Isekwuno. Barrister, welcome to the show. I appreciate your coming. All right, and sitting very close to him is a very vibrant youth, a political analyst, yes, a businessman, and of course is into politics. Join me, welcome Theodus Irabo. Welcome to the show, Theodus. I appreciate your coming. And the man I like to call philosophical man, yes, a legal practitioner, a human rights activist. He's smiling already. Jimmy, welcome, Barrister. Thank God, Louis, but welcome to the show.
Good morning, viewers. Happy Christmas in advance and a prosperous New Year.
Here we are. Nigerians are once again complaining. The youths are not happy about. Some of them termed it the show of shame. What others are saying, come on, it's democracy, expect it. The booze on the chairs on Mr. President while he was busy presenting the budget. The word is like what is happening in Nigeria. I want to start off from you, Barrister Patrick, a child arbitrator. What do you feel about what played out? Because both parties, or major of the people in there, yes, across board, they were guilty of this.
Yes, all the parties are guilty of this. Also what happened that very day. They are all guilty of it. But the issue is that on my own side, I'm not surprised. I'm never surprised about what happened. But it depends on also what is on ground. You know, there are multi-issues on ground. Even for the president visit to the house, the upper chamber, National Assembly. There are a lot of issues of primaries problem, those who are not happy. The issue of some of the senators who were unnecessarily harassed. The issue of even those who are not happy with the refusal to accept to the electoral bill. And so many issues. So it gives them an opportunity to vent this anger. Above all, when you started reading all I started reading the budget, some claim which they know that is frivolous, it never happened, all this, they are aware because they have National Assembly, they have oversight for some issues, they have committees in different matters. Even they are not in executive, they are aware because of those committees. So these are things that come into play. They are coming into play. And you know too well that these things have been happening. In one of your videos shows here that you see the fighting within the senators. It's not just now. As far as the blow, a lot of things happen in the house. So it's not new. They do more than this. Whereby both clothes have been touched, blow, fight, you do them on television. So they're used to it. It's nothing new to them.
No, for what you're saying, they are used to it. It's nothing new.
It's nothing new.
All right. I'll come back to you on your own analysis because I have so much questions to ask you, but this is just the opening. Theodus, how do you see this?
I think I will term it as a national disgrace to the country. Why did I say so? We have gotten to a place, we know it's expected in Parliament. Parliament is where you argue to make your point. But at the same time, when you keep on doing the same thing and expect different results, that means you are not using your brain. You can come out as the president of the country to the most, we'll call that place almost the highest office in this country, where you have intellect, where you have people being represented from all constituencies, people that are in committee to supervise work, and you are coming to present a budget. You started with the achievement. You lied to get into power. You can't still be telling lies.
Hold on. Theodore, please. Theodore, don't forget the rules and regulations. I want you to withdraw that word lies, please.
Okay. There was
I wanted to withdraw the word.
There was a lot of propaganda to get into power. Right now, hardship is being felt in the country. And you are telling us that we have systematically recovered from recession. when this is the heart of recession. We see the vice president traveling abroad, telling them that we now export food when we are hungry here in Nigeria. When a bag of rice this Christmas is 22,000 naira. We've never had it this bad. And you are telling Nigerians that things are working, Nigeria is in a new way, you are taking us to another level. Which level? Do you want us to die? That is why you got those reactions. It also happened to the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi. There was a program, he came and was telling us power generation during PDP was 3,000, now it's now 7,000. For anybody to be watching us today, quote me anywhere, their generator must be on. In the past 2 months, I've not seen light in the GRA as is in Benin. They fix it after 2 months. Every day you get 2 hours light a day. And you are telling me that power has improved? Why are you lying to Nigerians? Why do you think Nigerians will accept that? He was booed during that presentation in that program. That's Rotimi Amechi. During that campaign, what we expect them to do right now? Nigerian things are really bad. We are also preparing how to move us out of this situation. Accept it first and tell us there is hope.
Okay.
Don't tell us everything is well.
Okay.
When even a baby knows that nothing is well.
All right.
Christmas is 2 days away. We don't know if there is Christmas.
Okay.
Everybody is hungry.
Theaters.
Everybody wants to eat, and you are telling us stories
Theaters.
at this time.
I'll come back to you. Please, I'd like to understand a kind of I wouldn't want to use the word a warning, but please just watch your emotions. No matter what, don't let your emotions drive you above the edge. Okay, just calm down, take a breather, then we can start discussing. Okay, Barrister, thank God.
Well, for me, I think that it's a case of trying to express your position on certain issues. If you take it to the family setting where the father start talking to the wife and children and they start cheering or jeering, the father needs to now look at the situations properly to know where the problem is coming from. If he's able to determine whether or not it's a cheering or jeering, for instance, in this case, from what we observed, it was a jeering, trying to say that, oh, Dad, some of these things you're saying are not true. And we are not convinced that this presentation is right or under these circumstances. So it becomes a jeering. It calls for questioning, self-examination. As a father of a family or as the president of the country, you now have to sit down and ask yourself, what gave birth or gave rise to this jeering? Have I failed? Or I have performed well, but I did not communicate it well? Or the circumstances are beyond my control and my children do not understand? So it's a whole lot of issues that arose that day. We know that the National Assembly is a collective representation of all of us. And whatever they demonstrated that day was the average attitude of an average Nigerian based on our level of education and appreciation of issues at stake. And you know, when you start resorting to jeering and murmuring, it's also an expression of fear. Because you see, in a family when some children are not comfortable with what daddy has said, what you would have expected is maybe one or two of the children raising up their hands and say, Daddy, this issue that you have just raised, I'm not comfortable with it. But you see, the senators or the members of the National Assembly found it more comforting and convenient to jeer, that is hide and say their minds, because nobody wanted to appear to be the stakeholder facing the issues headlong because of the seemingly intimidation those who have tried it in the past have suffered. So most of them now prefer to jeer and hide under their table and say, Mr. President, some of these things you are saying we do not so agree, or there's no enough evidence to this argument. Right. So it's here and there. It's a matter of us coming back to the drawing board and looking at what the key issues were.
Okay, key issues. And then we have the number one man of the federation, like what you said, a father to us all. Is that enough for them to cheer and jeer? Like what you said, if you want to raise a point, come on, these are gentlemen and women. Raise your hands and make your points. Their conduct, no matter the situation, is that enough for the members in the House of the National Assembly to exhibit such, let me use the word now with due respect to them, ridiculous way of expressing themselves? Barrister.
There is something, sometimes you say it's something beyond control. Because ordinarily, it ought to be a solemn ceremony. But there's an exception, even in court of law, where you see there's some statement might be made, some questioning. You see everybody, in short, they cannot hold on the laugh or the hero. You see court, because say, oh, order. It's normal, because the statement of the president. The scenario abroad, issue of family, a father come to lies to the children. Children know that doesn't do such a thing, I'll not be bringing money. He will not say, I spent, probably, quarter is sued. The father tries to judge a third party. I've been giving myself so the children, every morning they take salad with, the children know that is a lie. You can't stop them. It's a bad conduct. They cannot hold it.
It is salad, I said that is a lie.
But it's a bad conduct, but ordinarily they cannot hold it. It's not in the court. I'm not what play that very day. What play that. You cannot hold it. So something beyond control. Which in my own way, I look at it like a kind of more or less legislative coming relief. So that was how to play that very day.
Now, all right, now, some spectators or viewers after seeing what happened in the National Assembly said, look, this has a lot to do with 2019. We have political undertone and what really played out itself in course of that budget presentation. How true is this assertion? Political interest?
I think this is the time of politics. You can't take politics away from everything that has happened. It is a time where people want, it is a very sensitive period. And I would have thought that when the president was going, there would have been an instruction. Don't cheer me. We saw when he was coming in, the members of his party cheering him, and he was also responding. You don't expect the opposition to fold their hand. He was trying to steal the show. So that was what generated what happened. Those cheers wasn't necessary. We are coming here for serious business. Nigeria is in serious crisis. We shouldn't play with these things. You know, this is so sensitive. You see today that anything, if you mark somebody's leg now, you get a slap because people are angry. There is hunger. They said a hungry man is an angry man. Nigeria, as it is right now, is very, very sensitive. And I will appeal to the politicians that this period is not a period where you play games. Come out straight, do the things that should be done. Because we are getting the vice president of presidential candidate of PDP, his account is being frozen.
Allegedly now, allegedly.
It's everywhere. Even the FCC also came out to give a report. Which one is allegedly? Let's state things the way it is. If we must move forward as a country, we must learn how to say the truth. We shouldn't sugarcoat anything. That is what happened that day. Trying to sugarcoat things, you always get a backlash. You don't need it. Just say it the way it is. Okay, the country is in a terrible situation, but we have a blueprint on how to move the country forward. Not tell us we have done exceptionally well and we are still doing more. Why you expect that? Yeah. So seriously, like I said, it's a political era and you must be serious in whatsoever you are doing. I know what happened was an unfortunate incident because the world was actually looking at Nigeria at that point. And there was, we'll call it a national disgrace. What played out in the House of in the joint session.
All right, from what they agreed to is a national disgrace, but what they also agreed to is like it happens almost everywhere, but does that justify the behavior now? Is a joint session a right platform to campaign? Because people are saying that they saw some of them with placards.
Well, elections and politics are played every day. It is in the house, it's outside, it's everywhere. You cannot remove politics from the human element. However, like that situation, I do not even really believe that it's a national disgrace. I do not expect much more than what they have done. Because you look at the educational level of a people and assess them by that level. You look at the development of a people and assess them by that level. But if you assess them using other standards, obviously you get disappointed. So we at this level of development, at this level of education, and that is what we can get. That's the best we can get. I think I remembered at the time some persons mooted the idea in the National Assembly of impeaching the president. Just thinking about it alone earned them a lot of reprisals. And some of them were embarrassed. Some of them from Edo State and all that. We saw what happened. So when they now start shouting like little children, what do you expect? Because the man no longer wants to raise up his hand. Nobody wants to now raise up his hand. So they now shout. So as a way of telling Daddy, we did not agree. And that expression is a signal at their level of understanding and appreciation of the system at work. Now, if you look at the political undertone behind all these things, it's a question of, have you delivered? Can you deliver? What can you bring to the table for us to assess you? So if in that forum, some persons who either though before now agreed with your policies, your promises, and they followed you for 2 years, 3 years, and they're beginning to get a different view now, they're beginning to find it difficult to justify you. Because that's where the members now find themselves. They find it very difficult to say, Oga, we are still pushing you ahead. It's like when the mother of a home is now telling the father, I can no longer defend you before these children. You are coming late too much every night. I've been explaining you went somewhere, you went on, but it's now becoming obvious I can no longer explain. So this is the position some of them have taken based on the information available to them. You know, like I always say, to a very large extent, the average Nigerian doesn't go for information, doesn't have information. But at least I can agree that members of the National House of Assembly, who are our representatives, also have some of the information we do not have.
Okay.
And at that point in time, they are looking at the information side by side. These guys, they are friends. Let's take it at that level. They are friends, they know themselves. And at the point where they divide, it's on issues, personal interest, corporate interest. Like someone once said, he said it is a beauty for the Nigerian people when the executive and the National Assembly are not always in romance.
Okay.
You understand?
Right. Okay, hold on now. Now, let them come to Paris. I use the word. It's a beauty for Nigerian people if the executive and, of course, the lawmakers are not always in romance, or will I say in bed having the same idea. Now, from what we saw at the joint session, is it for the interest of Nigerians or personal interest?
Well, I will answer that question in 2 ways. Yes, I said I say no. Yes, in the sense that that is the only way they can vent their anger, probably what will benefit Nigerians. Let me give an instance. I told you initially, there's a multiple problem, issues on ground before the president walked in. You know, but to play politics, they brought politics to issue of even sharing the president for his own party members. That's escalated. We know too well that such a man does not deserve praise because a lot of issues to be trash. So now there are a lot of issues. So the issue is that, for example, the president refused to pass the electoral act. Some persons are not happy with it, that he has refused not to assent. Because if I want to contest an election and I want fair and fair election, I expected if I'm a candidate. Some of them are candidates in the house, and I want to win this election. The only way I can win is if pass through the electoral bill, whereby you can only vote through electronic means, no more manipulation. Sure, that people have favored me, I favored my people, and now I refuse to pass it. I'm not happy with him because we give people a chance to manipulate a vote. People can start voting, start the individual style of the way they vote, the way they want. That has been the whole style. But the electronic voting could have been eliminated all these things. Then I won't be happy with you. Some were robbed from their primaries. They are also there. Maybe some same party members.
That's true.
They were robbed from the same party. Some are there who are not happy with the issue of the EFCC intimidating them.
It's true.
They are there in the house. Some are there, police inviting them. I was the first quarter last time. A lot of people I saw them inviting most of the senators to it. It's embarrassing. So they are all there. You expect them to be happy with sharing the presidency. That's why there are some occasions whereby before you invite a guest, you must settle your internal problem not to avoid embarrassment.
That's true.
Because anything can happen, and you will not be surprised.
All right, so now from what you're saying, it's all personal.
Yes, it's personal. It's personal.
Okay,
Yes.
fine.
So why I'm also saying no.
Yeah.
If I've been it ought to be a solemn situation, because the presentation of budgets, it ought to comfort themselves. But like I said, sometimes it's beyond control.
Beyond control.
Yes.
All right. Now, majority of his points are personal. Why very few are like, general? How do you feel about this for Nigerians or for personal gain?
I don't think it was personal. Not assenting to the electoral bill alone affects all Nigerians. Because if we are talking about free and fair election, which actually brought the present government into power, we don't see any reason why the present government would want to truncate that beauty of democracy. That alone is enough to give the president embarrassment. But at the same time, like you rightly said, there are a lot of issues. We've gotten to a point that you cannot actually say, this is what I stand for in this country again. It's as if we're in a military rule. Immediately you raise up your hand, you are being sent for. Before you know, after questioning, you are being harassed. Even the sitting senator, sitting rep members, these are daily scapegoats. So do you expect such person during the presidency to say, Mr. President, that fact you said is not actually true. For my record here is ABC. That's how a developed country functions. Knowing that you have freedom of speech. Right now you have freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom after speech. Because you can say it here, but what happened, you are on your own. So because of that, you rather want to stay under and be making noise. I'll let you talk, so that nobody will see you. But the truth of the matter, you will not even be surprised. It's not even the opposition that even did most of those things. There are a lot of aggrieved members in that party. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Even the ones cheering, the cheering was not actually cheering. They hide on that to also boo him, because they are also victims of this same thing that we are complaining about. Go to constituencies, they cannot even provide anything for their constituency. And the election is at stake, knowing that the election is not going, with the look of things, is not going to be free and fair, because where the president actually benefited more. Go and check. It was not. No. There was no use of card reader.
All right. You are not INEC to say that the election will be free and fair. That's your own opinion.
There are statistics.
Because INEC has guaranteed Nigerians there's going to be a free and fair election.
What we are saying, it was incident form that they used where president got 2 million votes, where he got 1.8 million votes, and he's trying to still use that same technique.
Hold on. Still does. In the previous election, also some other parts of the country still have the millions upon millions of votes.
No, there was no million apart from the north.
Anyway.
The south was 300.
Anyway.
That was incident form.
I'll come back to you. Just hold on now, but please just try to watch your emotions.
No, we are speaking fact. This is what I'm saying.
Let me come to you, thank God, because I know you're very guaranteed a free, fair, credible election. That is what they are saying. We pray it's going to be like that. So that's your own opinion. It may be different from other people. Is it a sign of repression in the House? Because that's saying that to just say, excuse me, Mr. President, your figures are not correct, and are hiding under jeers and boos, and of course our colleagues. Are they being repressed?
Mr. Wisi, it's obvious. It's obvious. You see, we are all part of these issues. You look at the system and you don't want to be pragmatic or realist, so that you don't be an idealist and you are removed from the system. So when you now watch it here and there, you say, okay, how do I be a pragmatist in this system and survive? That is, correcting over a period of time instead of correcting overnight. So the repression is high. There are a lot of things that are happening in the National Assembly, like my colleagues just mentioned. We have a situation, electoral bill not being passed. We have a situation, we invited the IG, he didn't attend. The president did not reprimand him. In fact, the president at one point in time said he sent him on an errand, he didn't go, so I cannot imagine why people disturbing him. You can imagine. So we have a situation where, like I earlier said, the father of the house is finding it difficult to actually carry the house reasonably to a large extent. And that is why we are facing whatever challenges we are facing. And so you see a situation where the children, knowing that the father may be a bully, in quote, and oppressive, and so the people try to hide themselves from being noticed as those raising objections. And we have it everywhere. It's not just in the National Assembly. When you find yourself in the system where it's difficult to tell the truth. In fact, those who lies are promoted. Those who tell the truth are punished and demoted. So you begin to look for a middle range, because the issue of telling the truth is usually spiritual. and then lying is physical.
So you mean that they're all physically inclined.
So you now see your spirit battling with your flesh over, oh, I know this thing is wrong, I perceive this thing is wrong, but looking at the circumstance, I cannot say it is wrong without inheriting some punishment. So this becomes a serious challenge for the system. However, what I'm not surprised is that the situation of development in the country, the education in the country, it's giving its product out. You cannot give what you don't have. You understand? Like the president too, with due respect to him, he cannot command the respect he ought to command because of certain weak points that may have been demonstrated in the past. So it's about us, and we need situations where we need to improve ourselves. The government, the followers, everybody need to really sit down and work on his or herself. With time, I know we'll get it right, but it's going to take some more time, sir.
So how do we get it right, Barrister Patrick?
Yeah, I think the way forward, for the forthcoming Senate or the next Republic, that's also a problem. Is that even this government, before they leave office, is that they should stop propaganda. That one is bad. You should stop propaganda. They should state it the way it is, not to invent people's anger. Say it correctly. Nobody will raise the issue because it's there. It's in public domain. That is the position. For instance, you see the Amnesty International AI about the indictment of Nigerian military. In short, the information, Minister of Information, the rest, the federal government, they are very bitter over the issue. Even to the extent that they want to relocate them out of Nigeria. Forgetting that what they say is right, because a lot of them, I think they have poverty of mind. Under international law, there are rules governing even any conflicts, even war.
All right.
Yeah, they have their rights. You must operate within that ambit.
Okay.
They don't give you now the power to use time to extinguish them. This is what they fought. What they have to do is to go on underground, because they ought to have legal advisor, any armed forces, to advise them on international issues.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
So what they is just a information of the truth, which they have to reflect on.
Right.
And so they can correct the error.
Thank you, Barrister Patrick.
Making propaganda.
Thank you, Barrister. You said they should stop
we
propaganda?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Theaters, way forward.
I think there was one word he said that really excites me. He said, before this government leave power. That shows that leaving power is imminent. We can't continue like this in this country.
That's your own opinion. Many are saying remain.
Nobody's saying that.
Please wait forward. Please wait forward. Wait forward. Nobody's going to die anything. Wait forward.
Because it's clear.
Yeah.
The way we are going, we can't sustain this as a country. We must. I'm saying it here. I'm party affiliated. I'm affiliated to the opposition party. But I will say it here. If 2023, our government also fail, I will be part of the people that will also say, let's vote them out. We cannot continue to consolidate on failure. Because we are Nigeria, we are not even in government, we are not the government, we are not the people. We have leaders. When our leaders fail, we should collectively say, okay, your time is up, let's try another person. When that one fails, let's try another person.
All right.
Until we get the Nigeria that we actually deserve.
Thank you.
Not the Nigeria where we will see sugarcoat.
Thank you.
Something when we know it's
Thank you, Theodore. Thank you. Calm down. You have 30 seconds. Thank God.
My take for the leaders in the different hemisphere is for them to continue to strive to be able to lead well. I know they are human beings, they are not perfect, they are not God, so they have their limitations. And if that is anything to go by, you must appreciate the fact that as you improve yourself, you improve the lot of those around you or those that you're leading. Now, sorry, Mr. Wilson, there was something you said, whether it was personal interest or whether it was corporate interest they were pursuing. I think you cannot achieve personal interest without corporate interest. You cannot achieve corporate interest without personal interest. Right. So as much as you can, as you pursue the corporate interest, you're actually pursuing your personal interest. So Nigeria, the survival of this country, the beauty of this country, the development of this country lies on all of us.
Thank you.
And so we must do whatever we can to make this country improve.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate a wonderful analysis. Yes, you've heard them. Emotions, suppose, almost went out, but I have to hey, calm down. Well, do the right thing, the right time. And stop putting us negatively before international body and the limelight. That is not so cool. He's still the president. Take it or leave it. He brings in a budget. Let him present the budget. Have a way of presenting your issues amicably. It goes to both parties because both parties in the House were all guilty of it. Screaming, cheering, booing. Is that the Nigeria we're looking forward to? Anyway, we'll go on a break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.